Hey, hey, happy Sunday, everybody. So here we are in the Clayshare studio. I'm Jessica Putnam-Phillips. We're about to open this kiln. So I fired this on Friday, glazed for 2 days. You might have seen me glazing some things. I pushed the button to start it at 3 o'clock in the afternoon Friday. It finished up at 4 a.m. Saturday morning, and it's been cooling since then. So it's been cooling for 30 hours. And then this kiln is a very slow cooler. It has 3-inch brick. This is an L&L E23T with the 3-inch brick, 240 volt 3-phase kiln. So that's like all the info you need to know about my kiln. And it's fabulous. I absolutely adore it. It is so even and reliable. It's just been a great kiln. I've had it for this one for almost a year, but I have an L&L kiln that is 47 years old. It's my first kiln I bought secondhand. I haven't had it for 47 years, obviously, but I've used it for about 20 years. It's a great kiln. Like, they make good kilns. So we're going to open this up and share these combos. And I have to give a huge shout out to Deborah Eng, who sent me this mug. She also sent Kevin a mug too. This is the one she sent for me, thanking me for Clayshare Con. And I just want to thank her for thinking of me and her kindness and generosity and sending me this mug, and for being part of our Clayshare family, and to shout out how fabulous her glazing is. This is so yummy. It's gorgeous. I absolutely love it. So I'm really enjoying a lovely cup of tea this morning with it. So I hope you all are ready to do a kiln opening, because I certainly am. All right.
All right, we're struggling with Facebook.
All right,
and YouTube,
so we're struggling with Facebook and YouTube as usual, but we're going ahead with Clayshare because we're not going to hold back for Facebook and everything, because they'll catch up. They'll catch up to us. So in this kiln, I have a bunch of Clayscapes Pottery glazes. I have some Mako glaze tests. I have some Amico glazes in here, and I think that's all I have in this particular kiln. It is currently at 122 degrees, so it's still fairly hot. I don't like to open my kiln if it's above 125. If you want to, when your kiln gets down to like 200, you can open the spy holes, you can pop the lid a crack to help it cool faster, but you really don't want to rush your cooling too much. That can cause issues with cracking. Dunting, it's called, where your piece actually will shatter from the extreme change from hot to cold, or if there's a draft coming in. So, all right, hope you all ready. I got new gloves for this. These are garden line gloves. Yes, I bought them at Aldi. So if you have an Aldi store near you, you can pick up some fairly inexpensive garden gloves, and they're what I usually use in the studio to protect my hands. And I go through a couple pairs of these a year, so I usually buy a few at a time. But I like to wear these when I'm unloading the kiln, because the kiln shelves are heavy and they can scratch your hands, and this gives you a little better grip. So I'm so excited. Now I've got my glaze test book, or my kiln log book, that I write down everything I put in my kiln. So we have this right here. This is how I take my notes. And today I wrote down glaze firing. Woohoo! There it is. So we'll go through this, and I'll have this for reference as we pull everything out of the kiln. Super excited. I know. And what I'm really excited about is that we're giving away four 6-packs of Clayscapes Pottery glazes, and I have some in here to show you. So I have a bunch of Clayscapes glazes because we glazed with them on Wednesday on the live broadcast. So let's open her up. Let's go ahead and do it. All right. Ta-da! Well, let's just start with the cone pack, because this is all our information, right? We want to know, did the kiln get to temperature? Well, my cone packs are cone 4, cone 5, cone 6. This was a cone 5 firing. Look, cone 5, I'll hold it right here. This is cone 5 right here. Very melty, very bendy. That's exactly what we want. But it's perfect. We did a perfect cone 5 firing, meaning it got to cone 5, a solid 5. 6 is just starting to bend, so we didn't get to 6, but we got, I'd say, a solid middle cone 5. And why I say solid middle is it doesn't go from 2167, it's cone 5, and 2168 is cone 6. You have a range between 30 to 50 degrees where it transitions from one cone to the next. So you can have a cool cone 5, a solid middle cone 5, or a hot cone 5. And a hot cone 5 is similar to a cool cone 6. So, hey everybody joining in, I just want to do a big shout out. My mom's here. Hi Mom! I always love it when my mom watches. Because we can be together, right? As a family. So let's just, oh, I didn't have to come over here. I'm gonna stay over here. I'm gonna stay over here because do you see what's happening? All right, we'll just start with, this was one of the plates I showed. Actually, I showed how you can brush on a dippable glaze. And this was the plate I did that demo. It's just a quick little video I put up on social media. This is amber celadon with cream around the edge. And these are also Clayscapes Pottery glazes. So you can see how yummy. The amber is like a root beer and the cream is like ice cream. So it's like a root beer float happening right here. Yummy. And there's the back, glaze the back. So you can see that. So this is one of my favorite glazes to use on texture. And it's just really pretty. And I think it goes with just about everything because it's a nice amber brown. So this is a set, I did 4 of them and they all nest in. So I'm gonna keep this out until we get them all out of the kiln. Then we will show them all. The pattern is my Southwest rolling pin and the plate was made with GR Pottery forms. So get you all the info there. Okay, moving on, moving on. So this was a glaze test right here. It is Amico glazes, which I've used these glazes before, but this is on Georgie's dark chocolate trail mix clay. And I've got to sand down some kiln wash that's stuck on the foot, but look how yummy that clay is. I don't use dark clay a lot, but when I do, the darkest clay I use is the Georgie's. And then the glaze is Amico Ancient Copper with textured turquoise on top. And that's what's on the inside too. But what I really want to show you is right here on the rim where it breaks. And you're seeing that dark clay that is underneath, like it's breaking over it and you see it. And breaking is a term in glazing and in ceramics. It just means where the glaze is a little thinner and you're seeing a little more texture or seeing the edges. It's not a bad thing, it's what you want. But look how yummy these glazes are on a dark clay. And it was wheel thrown, so you see the little swirlies. So it's a nice little glaze test, and I've done this glaze combo on light clay, looks great there. Done it on dark clay, looks fabulous there too. I actually think I like it better on the dark clay, but you know, it's personal preference. Okay, so where are we gonna go? We'll do this. This is a redo. So last kiln opening, I had a bunch of Mako glaze pieces that I had used glazes on the inside that didn't necessarily like the glaze on the outside. So I decided to redo a few of them and I used Mako glazes on the inside and on the outside so that I would, you know, be consistent. And actually the glaze I used on the inside was the same glaze I used on the outside, the first coat. So this is that amazing combo of birch first, so 2 coats of birch, and then cordovan on top. Look at that, and birch on the inside. So that's what I put on the inside. Last time I did this combo, I actually have the piece right here. Yeah, it's textured turquoise, Charlotte. The comments on Facebook are a little behind. The last time I did this combo was this mug here, and it's actually got a crack because the glaze I used on the inside is my cobblestone, which is a great glaze. You can use it perfectly fine with many glazes. It just really didn't like this combination, but we had no issues with it here. And actually, I think I did a better glazing job the second time around. So win-win right here. I wish I could get the light to be better. It's there, now you can see it. How gorgeous is this cup? So the reason I make cups like this, and it looks a lot like a mug, right? But there's no handle, is because there's a lot of folks out there, my mom included, who likes handleless mugs. She really likes to hold her mugs in her hands, feel the warmth of her coffee or tea, and not use a handle. So also, You've got a great cup, but I just love it. I love it. It looks like agate to me, that combination. So that's a, yay, that's a win. That's a win right there. So you got up extra early for this, Leslie. Well, I'm honored. This right here is a light colored clay, Laguna B-Mix, that I had put some of my snowflake under glaze decals on. And I'm not sure, there you go. It's very subtle. And I decided to see what would happen if I glazed them with, I used Fog Celadon from Clayscapes and cream on top. Look how yummy that is. It all melted. It's all yummy, melty goodness with that cream. And someone was asking me about that cream being a runner. It's a runner, meaning it's melty. It fluxes a lot because I only dipped it to here. So the cream was only dipped to here, but look, it ran to here in some places. So beware when you're using that. Now it covered some of my snowflakes. I'm okay with that. I love the subtle snowflake. And this glaze, it did make the snowflake design flux a little bit, so it's not quite as crisp as other glazes might be, but that's okay. I absolutely love it when it does that too. So I think it's fabulous. Is that a mom mug? I need to make you a new one, Mom, so maybe.
We have people on the app asking if YouTube is off the air. Yeah, YouTube refused the connection.
YouTube's not working, but guess what, guys? You can go to the app, Clayshare app, and watch it there. We will put this up on YouTube. So hi, everybody who's watching the replay on YouTube, but the live, for some reason, YouTube's not picking the feed up, and we can't hold everybody else back. So good combo. Even if you don't use underglaze decals, you could just have this beautiful gray with that cream on top. Melty goodness. Exactly. Melty, yummy goodness. All right. This I was pretty excited to put in the kiln. We threw bowls during Clayshare Con. Do you all remember that we made some bowls? Well, we did. And this was one that I threw. This was using, I don't know how many pounds, 11 pounds of clay, maybe? I think is what I used on this. B-Mix, Laguna B-Mix. I used lavender mist, 3 coats. So that's the first glaze. I put it on the entire thing, inside and outside, so you can really see it. And then on top, two coats of Mako Muddy Waters. So Mako lavender mist, and then 2 coats of Mako's Muddy Waters. I found that 3 coats is a little too much, and I did a mug that had 3 coats of the Muddy Waters, and it cracked. I think it was, you know, part of that glaze incompatibility issue, but when you do 2 coats, yummy! Right there. You've been struggling to get motivated, Nicola, but Nicola, now you want to go back to the studio. I love it. Yes. I love that you're excited. And so the bottom of this, I had a little fun. So the snowflakes that I was holding up earlier are my own designs. I drew those, and Sandbow Studios sells them as underglaze decals. And when you get my underglaze decals, often my name will be on it. So what I do is I cut off my name from my underglaze decal sheets, and I stick them on the bottom of some of my pieces sometimes because that's my signature. I mean, it's my name. So I did it on the bottom of the bowl because I thought it would be fun. But it turned out nice. And we made this on Clayshare Con, which all those videos are still up and they're all free. And you just go to the Clayshare app, scroll down to Clayshare Con, and you can watch that wheel throwing class where we made this bowl. And we trimmed a bowl. I don't know if we trimmed this one, but we did one of them. I'm gonna put it back here because what a nice serving bowl. That is a potato salad bowl, folks. That's like if you want potato salad, you want some pasta salad, macaroni salad. That's what that bowl is for, right there.
Question on the cup.
Yeah.
How many coats of the birch and the cordovan?
I did 2 coats of birch and 2 coats of the cordovan, although I did do a 3rd coat of cordovan on the very rim, like the top inch, I would say. I cut way back with my Mako glazes this last time and did a lot of 2 coats because the 3 coats could have been some of the problem with that severe crazing that I had a few weeks ago. So yeah, 2 and 2, but I will tell you all when I do different than that, but of course, please ask, right? So we have some pieces from our glaze party that we had on Wednesday. The aqua glaze that I did not sieve. Do y'all remember? I stirred up my aqua glaze that I hadn't used in a year, and I didn't sieve it. So when you don't use a glaze, that's a dip and pour glaze, for a big period of time, you should sieve it again, because sometimes salts and other things crystallize out and you have little hard things. I didn't sieve it. I just used it, and it had all kinds of chunkies, like little chunky bumpies on it, but I don't see a problem. This is aqua dipped, and I showed you how I did this in the live video. We dipped it, bloop, to here, let it dry, turned it over, and dipped it to here. Look at how nice this turned out. I'm very, very, very happy with the way the glaze turned out on this piece here. So that's a way you can get this like 3 glaze look when it's only 2 glazes. And there's my signature on the back. Fabulous, right? Turned out, boom, Drew said. That's right. So again, these are Clayscapes pottery glazes, the Aqua and the Starry Night. I've never had them fail. The Starry Night is a tiny bit of a runner. Just keep that in mind. You don't want it too thick, but looking good here. Happy.
I have a question.
Yeah, I might have an answer.
If you have one shelf where the witness cone didn't bend, would you refire the things on that shelf? It's 2 platters that did not get to cone 5.
So would I refire them if they didn't get to cone 5? Only if you're not happy with the way it looks or you have concerns about it not being vitrified. So if it was almost cone 5 and it looks good, like if it's a gloss glaze and it has a gloss surface, like these are glossy glazes. I have a nice gloss surface. I'm happy with this. Even if this hadn't gotten to cone 5, I would not refire it. So look at your pieces and decide, is it sort of matte and dry looking? If so, you might want to refire it, but if not, you're probably fine. You have a bit of leeway with these cone 5 glazes because they do go to cone 6 and they usually can go to cone 4 as well. So and I know some people who push them to cone 8, which is crazy. Pushing things to cone 8. Things will run a lot, but you know, you might want that. Did I use 3 coats for the Amico combo? Yes, I did. So on this bowl that I did that has the Georgie's dark chocolate clay, that yummy clay, it's 3 coats of ancient copper first. I put 3 coats of that on the bottom, 3/4, and then textured turquoise, 3 coats inside and outside. Yeah. And I stopped about here with the textured turquoise, so you can see that. But with the Mako, I backed off to 2 coats because I had that issue where I'd gotten a little heavy-handed with the glaze. So this is getting to know your glazes and testing them out. So I backed down from 3 coats to 2 coats, and we'll see after this is all open, yeah, if we get everything out of here, what I'm gonna do next, like if I'll add more. You're waiting for your Bailey wheel. You got the Pro XL, Leslie. You're gonna love it. I love, love, love mine. All right, who wants to guess what glaze this is? I'm not gonna tell anybody, except it's a Clayscapes glaze. And I don't know if it's fair to let Drew guess because it's his company. So there's the bottom. The clay is Georgie's dark chocolate trail mix clay. And this clay really doesn't like to go hotter than 5. It starts to bloat a little bit when you go a little too hot. Look at how yummy this is. I'm gonna have to tell y'all what it is. I know you know, but is it? Okay, Drew, I'm gonna ask Drew a question. Is this not the best you've ever seen this glaze look on this clay? I'm just telling you. I'm gonna stop the waiting. Coastal blue, Charlotte. Yes, Sandy too. Sandy was the first one. This is coastal blue, which it's crazy because it has the blue undertones when you put it on dark clay. When you put it on a light clay, it's like a white. It's like a white sea foam color. Look at that. Yummy, yummy, yummy. I can't even get over how gorgeous this is. I gotta step out of the frame so that's all you see. That's it, just that. Wowzer. Woohoo! So coastal blue, I love it. And I only did one little bowl with it because I was testing it out on this clay. Now I'm going to be making mugs with the Georgie's dark chocolate clay. Imagine this. Imagine this in a mug. Everything you drink will just taste amazing. Oh, I love it. I'm all excited. Woo! Yes, good day. So, okay, another glaze test. Using the Georgie's dark chocolate clay. Again, so that's that dark, dark clay. Is that your favorite glaze, Sandy? I know, it's gorgeous. It's coastal blue on the other bowl. These are Mako though. This is Mako Lavender Mist. 2 coats inside, 2 coats outside, and then Muddy Waters on top. So that's what I did. The same as that large bowl, but on the dark clay. I like it. I love it. I love the coastal better though. Between the two, I love this. Oh, those who want to know what I did, it's dip and pour glaze. So 1 coat poured inside, 1 coat dipped on the outside, but I did go back in and I dipped the rim a second time. So there's 2 coats on the rim. I did. I double dipped on the rim. So, yay, woo! Yes, question.
Have you ever tried Starry Night with shadow glue?
I have. Ages ago when I first started using Clayscapes glaze, I haven't done it in a while. It looks really nice. I think on Clayscapes Pottery's website, they have little samples of what their glazes look like, and you can see it on that. So this is a surprise. I can't show it because a person's watching. Sorry. You can all blame my mother. Because she's watching. This is the thing, when you make gifts for people and you want it to be a surprise, you have to kind of scooch it out. You will all get to see that because it's going to be a class. I will quickly film it and then I'll send it to my mom and we can talk about it. But until then, I can't show you what it is. Oh, yeah, that turned out good. So another, all right, we're going to wait on that. We're going to do, are we going to wait? No, we're not waiting. I have no patience. I shall not wait. Oh, hi, pretty. Oh, hello there. What's going on here? Look how gorgeous this is. Laguna B-Mix. And these are Mako. Mako Pink Opal, 2 coats inside, 2 coats outside. Then Mako Celadon Bloom, 2 coats on the outside and on the inside. And then just for a little, Mom says she won't look. Mom, we'll just talk about it later. You just have to wait. A little bit of Mako light flux just on the rim right here. Just a little bit of the flux. And you can see where the flux is because it ran a little bit. Did a little bit of running. Look at that. Ah, so nice. Look at those crystals. Yeah, I always love bowls from the bottom because you really see what's going on. Brushed on glaze right here. Isn't that great? The Celadon Bloom is food safe. Yes. Yeah. We've had a lot of discussions about whether the Mako glazes are food safe. And after speaking with everybody at Mako, the glazes I'm currently using are food safe. They have some that might not be, but right here. So Butterfly Kiln says she's used the dark flux and it's cool. The dark flux, it changes everything between the light and the dark. But for this, I really wanted the light flux. Okay, so that's enough oogling the bowl. Or do you oogle or do you ogle? That's a question. Y'all have to ponder that for a minute. Are you oogling or ogling? So we have some cups that were glaze tests. And we have the last of my garden markers, my little herb stakes and herb markers that Riley helped me with. Got a little jumper. Get up here. All right. So I'm trying to follow everybody. So do I ever make my own glazes? Yes. Yeah. So Summer asked that question. It's a very good question. And Clayscapes Pottery sells my glazes that I make, and I have been making my own glazes for about 20 years. And until about 10 years ago, I only used my own glazes. And then 10 years ago, I started experimenting with other companies' glazes. And then when I went to graduate school, I really explored a lot of other glazes because the work I was doing didn't require me to make my own glazes. I needed to really kind of branch out a bit. So yeah, I do make my own, and we do have some classes on Glacier on making your own glaze and understanding glazes, and Drew's going to be doing some glaze workshops for us. So I decided to have a little fun with decals. So this is my retro floral in green. So this is an underglaze decal I designed that Sandbow Studios sells. And then on the top, I got a little crazy. I did on the inside green opal from Mako. So this is my clear, 2167 clear, which you can get this recipe and mix this glaze up. It's a zinc-free clear on clayshareresources.com, so you can go there. And you can mix this up, fabulous clear, great for using with just about everything. And then on the rim, it's the Mako green opal. And then I think I put Aurora green on, but it was the end of a very busy glazing day. In my book, I have Aurora green written down, but I only did 2 coats, a very thin 2 coats. And that's where we have little crystal blooms. Do you see the little dots? Those are the little crystal blooms right there. So just something fun, right? Just a little bit of fun. So I'm pretty happy with that. We'll put that over here to the side.
I got a couple questions for you.
Yeah, ask.
First, do you have a recommendation on a cone 012 to 010 clear glaze for low fire earthenware?
So usually on earthenware, you don't go that low. I'm not 012 to 010. That's more China paint temperatures, even actually usually go to 04, 05 for those. So I'm not sure what you're doing for clay. I don't have a recommendation. I do have recommendations for a cone 05 clear and those glazes, but nothing as low as 010 because that's getting, unless you're doing wild clay that you're digging. All right, that's green opal with the Aurora green as well. But if you message me exactly what clay you're using, why you're firing to that temperature, what you're trying to achieve, I can help you more with that question, and I'd love to help you. But I need more info on that, and we can do that. So this was fun. This was the cup that we did during the premium broadcast for premium members, where we decided to dip it in the Brooklyn glazes, and we just had a lot of fun. So we did the Bushwick on the inside. I think it's the Bushwick. Unless it's the Flatbush. It's the more green of the yellows. So I think that's actually Flatbush. And then we did Park Slope, dipped about halfway up. And then we did Brighton Beach, the top 2/3, and then cream on the very top. So this was like a fun, bright, coastal-y summertime cup, you know, a nice lemonade cup, something like that. So the clear on my site is cone 5, yes, because it's 2167 clear, and 2167 Fahrenheit is actually cone 5. You will never forget what temperature cone 5 is if you make my 2167 clear, because it's the same. So you'll call it 2167 clear, and you'll be like, oh, that's cone 5. So when you're sitting there like, I wonder what temperature cone 5 is, now you know. So you got that info. You'll be good. But yes, it's on the site. It's under resources. And glaze recipes are listed. So go check that out and you can find it. More questions.
Question from the app on describing the way you glaze and sign the bottom of your pot from Lucy, but let her know that I just replied on her comment with the link to the whole class.
Ah, that's right. There is a class, how to sign your work, and I show 3 or 5 ways to sign it. I sign it multiple ways. Sometimes I'll apply an underglaze, and then I'll carve my name like I did here. Sometimes I will carve directly into the bottom. See the difference? We have reverse. Black underglaze carved away. This one here is, actually I put wax resist, carved through it, just like I'm doing Mishima. So technically, Sgraffito signature, Mishima signature. That's the difference between these two. Sometimes I just write freehand with a paintbrush and underglaze. Sometimes I use a little squeeze bottle. Sometimes I'll use my stamp and just stamp the bottom. Sometimes I use my underglaze decal signature and sign it like that. So there are many, many, many ways you can sign your work. So check that free class out. Check it out, and it'll give you some insight. Ooh, 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 yeah. So we did smoky purple with cream. If you like deep, dark, yummy colors, smoky purple is actually a celadon. Actually, I think this is fog gray. Let me check. Hold on. Cup. Black with cream on sides. That was the plate. Cup 1, Bushwick. That was the other one. Pitch black. Cup 2 on the inside. Smoky purple, shadow blue, and cream. Oh, did I do that on this one? Guess I did. Yeah, I did. So this was what's on the, yep, pitch black on the inside. This is why we keep notes. I couldn't remember, obviously. Pitch black on the inside, smoky purple and shadow blue on the outside. I guess I layered them just for fun, and then cream on the rim. So we have that really nice subtle cream. Really, really nice. I like this one a lot. So if you like the darkness, dark colors, that one would be for you. So my daughter helped me glaze. I gave her some little plates. She glazed whatever she wanted. These are 2 Amico glazes she picked out. I believe it's ice and fog celadon. And she did 2 coats. I told her to do 3 because the celadons really need 3 for good color payoff, but you know, it's all right. This is her just having fun, and she'll get to use these little dishes for who knows what. I don't know. Yes?
Questions about the app in general.
Yeah.
Barb's hat is refreshing the entire stream to get the comments to refresh. Let her know she doesn't have to. All you have to do is swipe the comments down.
Just swipe down. Right. So if you're watching on the app, the live stream right now, and you want to see the comments, you just swipe down. Just swipe down. You don't have to refresh. Just swipe down and it should work. So these are garden markers or herb markers for my herb garden. And I made them because I planted the herb garden a couple weeks ago, and guess what? I ran out of garden markers. Louise loves the darkness. Awesome. I was going for an ombre. That's right, Erica. We were doing an ombre using the celadons. We'll pull it back and we'll talk about whether we achieved that. So I needed to finish up because I needed some Thai basil and sage and radicchio markers. What else do I got in here? I broke my chive marker, so I had to make a new one. I got some summer savory. I got some tarragon, spinach and lettuce, because my spinach and lettuce live in my herb garden too. So yay, these are done and I can actually use them. And the glazes are all Georgie's tie-dye glazes on those, and right there. So yes, we were doing an ombre. That's right. We've got a bit of an ombre. I like it personally. Is it this is kind of an ombre too, though, isn't it? So we have the transitioning from one color to the next, a little color shift. This is the bright ombre. So it's like the mermaid cup, right? If you are like a beachy sea loving person or just love the bright colors, this is you. If you're like the deep dark woods or something, maybe this is your ombre, right? So that's kind of a fun way to glaze. And ombre is just a color shift from one to the next, and it can be the same color, just lighter to darker tones, or it can be from one color to a totally new color. All right, we're gonna pull out some more kiln shelves because we got some more pots to get through. So we have 2 more plates in that set that I was glazing with the amber celadon with the cream. And then I'm going to take this one out too. Oh, that was a fun test. That was a fun test as well. So we'll talk about that. Oh, and there's the other one. All right, so I'm going to grab all 3 of these out because... So this was the set we were talking about that I glazed in the amber. Let me get the big one. Hold on. I need a bigger table over here. All right, so this was the set of 4 hexagon plates that I made using, I like to align them this way because why not? So here they all are, all glazed with amber celadon with cream on the rim, all brushed on, even though it's a dip and pour glaze. So I brushed on 1 coat, and they were all made with GR pottery forms. I like to take pictures of them when I align them like this because I think it looks better and less static than having them all facing the same direction. But you know, for storage, you're probably going to want to store them, but you might not want to, like this. So you get this great set right here. So do I always use half shelves in the kiln? For mostly, yeah. Unless I'm doing really big pieces that need to go across a big shelf, I will use half shelves because you get more airflow that way. They're easier on your body to lift up and out, right? And if you break a half shelf, it's not nearly as expensive as if you break a whole shelf. So here's this set right there. Turned out really cute, didn't it? More questions? I can tell he's got questions.
More questions.
I can tell there's questions happening.
Here's the first one. I put aqua underglaze on the bottom of a pot.
Yes.
And then after this, found out that I forgot to carve my name. What do I do now?
So you could use black underglaze and write your name with either a bottle that has a little needle tip on it, you know, like a liner writer, or a brush, and just write your name on it in black underglaze and then just glaze it. It'll be fine because you can't carve into it at this point. You could try, but you would have to actually have like a drill bit and drill in. It would not be fun. So my suggestion is to just write with black underglaze, and that'll be fine. It'll work.
And then the next one was, do you use Dunkin' glazes at all?
I've used a few Dunkin' underglazes, but I don't because of where I get my glazes. I haven't had much experience with Dunkin' glazes. Now I use Dunkin's Gold Luster and Mother of Pearl Luster, and I love them. And it's not that I wouldn't use Dunkin' glazes, I just haven't had the opportunity. There's so many glazes, so little time. You got more? Keep coming.
Do you have any other dark clays you can recommend, like a chocolate color?
So I've used the Georgie's Dark Chocolate Trail Mix, and I love it. That's the deepest, darkest chocolate one I've ever used. Amico has some. I mean, Mako. We're going to get there eventually. Laguna Clay Company, because Amico and Mako are glaze companies. Laguna has their number 90, which is a dark, more red-brown clay, and they also have their 80, which is more of a chocolatey clay. Not quite as dark, though. It's not nearly as dark as the Georgie's. The Georgie's is the darkest clay that I've used. Other companies, I think, have dark clay. I just haven't used them. All right, let's finish this up. My daughter did 2 more of those little plates, so we don't really need to dwell on those too much, except they're the ice and fog celadons. Now, here she put on 3 coats, because this was after I told her. Here she did 2. So I want you to look. Do you see how the difference? See how splotchy this one looks? Do you see how much smoother this looks? So you really need 3 coats with the Amico celadons. Honestly, Amico celadons don't mind 4 coats. So when you're glazing, keep that in mind. And then...
I have some kiln shelf questions.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
If you use a whole shelf, where do you put it in the kiln, top or bottom?
Mm-hmm.
And then the second half of that is, I noticed you use half shelves. Is that because they're not as heavy?
Yeah.
Or that it allows you to make more adjustments when loading the kiln?
Both. So when you're going to use a full shelf, I have a full shelf in the very bottom. So my bottom shelf in my kiln is 1 full big shelf. Now sometimes if I'm doing a lot of big platters and I need to get them in the kiln, I will do the full shelf on the bottom, put the platter on, do another full shelf on the bottom, just because once you start staggering your half shelves, it's hard to get them level again. So if you're going to do full shelves, you want to keep them to the bottom. Now I use half shelves for a couple of reasons. 1, they're lighter, they're a little easier to move, they're easier on your body, and 2, it gives you more stacking possibilities and better airflow because you'll have gaps where air can flow up through your kiln, so that can help get a better firing. So, lots of people are chiming in on great dark chocolatey clays. Standard 266, Laguna B3 brown. Okay, that's a good one. Another one for standard 266. New Mexican makes a great chocolate clay. Beautiful. Fabulous. Fabulous. See, I don't have experience with those clays, but our members like to share the info, and it's wonderful that they do. So this here is called a mug topper. It's a fun little class if you're looking for something. They go on, well, just imagine if this was a mug. It goes on your mug because, you know, you make a cup of tea, cup of coffee, you step away, you come back, and maybe a little beer ant or something has flown or gotten into it. Or if you have a cat, like I do, my big issue in my house is my cat will come along and put her paws in my tea whenever I leave it. Like, she thinks it's fun to come smack around in my tea or your water or whatever you have. So you make a little thing like this so you don't have to worry about naughty critters in your life coming and putting their paws in your tea. Because I don't want to drink dirty paw water. No, no, no. I don't want dirty paw water. I want to drink nice, yummy cups of tea. So this right here, Riley glazed. So my daughter glazed this. So this was the thing. I was glazing for 2 days. She wanted to hang out with her mother. I'm not going to complain. Anytime your child wants to hang out with you when they're above the age of 17, you will do anything in your power to make that happen. So I said, sure, come on in. And I just gave her some pieces to glaze. I said, do what you want. I don't care. Right? This is what we do. So this right here are the ice, the fog, and I believe the glacier celadons that she used. But I'll ask her again. And she tried to do a little quilt pattern. And she did the 3 coats because that was after I told her do 3 coats. And then if you're going to make a mug topper, I've got another thing you can make. It's basically a mug topper with holes in it. And it's called a flower frog. This is also a little class you can make. And what these are great for is you put this in, you can put it in a mason jar if you want to. You can put it in a cylinder vase, but you put your flowers through the holes and they will keep your stems separated. See how that is? How fabulous is that? So this is Tangelo, Poppy, and Marigold from Amico celadons. So would B-mix with grog be a good clay for test tiles? Yeah, Charlotte, for tiles? Sure, and I use regular B-mix for tiles. You don't really need a groggy clay for tile. I know people who use porcelain for tile work. But if you're doing murals outside, you might want to consider a groggy clay. I'm currently using the Laguna number 66. I think it's the WC 610. I think it's their actual, like, that's the SKU number or order number for it. I think. I think that's it. You like how Riley's pieces turned out, Norma? Thank you. I know, she did a good job. So this was that double dipping with smoky purple and shadow blue. We dipped to here in shadow blue, let it dry, and then dip to here in smoky purple. This is really an ombre. So we're transitioning from the blue, a little area where they come together and meet, and then we come out here with that smoky purple. And that purple, you can see, it's really more of a gray purple, but it's gorgeous. And this texture is by Sambao Studios. They have those little mini rolling pins, and they sent me some. Going to make some flower frogs, Wendy. You should. They are handy, and if you're looking for gifts, you just always have them on hand, and then you can just like take them, wrap them up cute in a little bag, take it to somebody, and you give it to them, and they will love it. Plus, they look great. Very handy.
Lynn says
More questions.
that when she uses amber celadon, it comes out dark brown or more brown at comb 5-6. Any ideas why?
So are you using Amico's amber celadon, or are you using Clayscapes amber celadon? Because well, I don't know if it's called celadon. They do have an amber, textured amber from Amico. So if you're using Clayscapes glaze and it's coming out darker, it might be thicker. So if you're going thinner, it'll be lighter. Mine was a little thin. So if you're talking about Clayscapes glaze, it could be you need to thin it down. If you want it lighter, you might like the darkness, right? So got a little, oh, so close. Did we have drippies? No, but very, very close. So you know the plate we did with the white? Well, it's actually cream and pitch black. Here it is. Look at that. And there's this, look at that. Ooh, that's always nice. Got little crumbs stuck to the kiln shelf here. How fun is that? Looks nice. So this was a fun plate we did. So a lot of your glazes turn out gray or dark sometimes. Do I know why that happens? It depends on the glaze and what you're using for colorants. If you're mixing your own glazes and you put a lot of colorants in, they come out darker. If you're going too heavy in your glazing, it could be darker. It all depends on the actual glaze you're using. So without knowing what glaze you're talking about, it's really hard for me to figure out because there's so many possibilities out there. But again, if you have glazing issues, that's something that if you message me, we can try to work on. But we are going to be doing some new glazing workshops with Drew, so we're really excited about that. And he might be able to answer your questions during those workshops. Okay, so we're getting to the bottom. Ooh, the big bowl. The big bowl's on the bottom. And we're going to grab the cone pack out before y'all get to see the pots. That's just, you gotta work before you play. So we have to see what we got. So here's the bottom cone pack. And we have cone 6, cone 5, cone 4. Yes, cone 5 melted nicely. Let's look at the top. So bottom, top. Oh, well, I gotta get my hands out of the way. Hold on, gloves. I think I took my last shelf out. I'm gonna take my gloves off. The pots are cool enough. But those shelves are heavy, and that's why I love wearing these, because it doesn't rough up my hands too much. Not like pottery is soft on your hands. This was the bottom, this is the top. So let's look at our cone packs. Top, bottom. We can almost, look at that, line them up. That's about perfect. This one, top. This is bottom, top. And I write on the bottoms of these. So this is my top. I will write on it top. And I'll write the date. It was 5/28 that I did the glaze. And then I'll do the same for this one. I'll write 5/28. Well, probably 20, because 10 years from now, I won't know what 5/28 it was. And this is the bottom. So that way I have this. Now, I'll keep these for a couple months and then I'll get rid of them. I just keep them around to compare and see how things are going. But this is how you really know if your kiln got the temperature or not. It might say numbers on the front, and those are great, but if you don't have these, you don't really know what's going on inside there.
Question time?
Yeah, question time. Question time.
The Amber question, it was Clayscapes on little loafers, clay.
Clayscapes on okay. So I'm thinking your glaze is a little thick. Thin it down a tiny bit and see if that helps. Because the little loafers is really light clay. This is my Chun Blue on the dark chocolate. Oh, hi on the inside. Look how bright that is. Can you believe that's my Chun? Chun is like a very light pale blue when you put it on porcelain or B-mix. Look what happens when you put it on the dark clay. Now I didn't go too thick on the outside because I wanted the clay to show through, but I could have gone thicker. Definitely could have gone thicker. Just have a nice brown, but the inside, bam! With our powers combined. Exactly, Drew. You are so funny. Oh, yes, this. This was the snowflake cup we glazed on Wednesday together. That had the little, I don't know if you can still see them. You can still see the blue snowflakes that were on it. So this was shadow blue glazed inside and out and then cream on top. Look at that. So I only dipped to here with the cream. See how much it ran? It ran a lot. It ran a ton. So my suggestion is, if you don't want it to run this far down, maybe only dip to here. You don't need to dip that much. Oh, you just got me on the Apple TV. That's awesome. This is the money shot right here. So how do you keep the glaze from filling in the holes in the flower frogs or berry bowls? Before I actually put the piece in the kiln, after it's been glazed, I will take a needle tool and I will go and just run it around on the inside, like dip your needle tool in water to get it damp, and just doop right there. So Riley glazed this, and she did a fabulous job of not getting any glaze where it shouldn't be. And you just try not to get too much in the holes, but you know, just use your needle tool and you just kind of clean it up a bit and it works. Now they do make those stiff bristle like bottle brushes, sort of. They're like tapered bottle brush. You could dip that in water and just put that in the hole and right back out, and those work great too if you have those. So one of those tapered bottle brushes, make it easy to clean out the holes. Yeah, so here I want to show you the two. This was Fog Gray with cream. Here, boom, boom, boom. Shadow Blue with cream. Which one do you like? This is the tough part, right? That's amazing. I always love Shadow Blue and cream. I know, Frosty and Icy, which works great with those little very, very subtle snowflakes. So if you're drinking from this cup, you're gonna see the snowflakes. You're gonna know those are snowflakes. But, oh, it's so yummy. I'm gonna put it down before I run off with it.
Ready for some more questions?
Yep, go ahead.
Where do you get those cone holders and large cones?
Haha, I make them. No, I don't make the cones. I make the holders though, and I do have a class on making cone packs. So your cones, large pyrometric cones, and you can get them from clayscapespottery.com. We actually have a code, Explore10. You use that code and you can save on your cones. So you can get those. They come in multiple, I should say, varieties. These are cones that need support. You can also buy what's called self-supporting cones. And when you get them, you know, they're paired. You have to break them apart. And then I make cone packs to keep them in. So this little holder was actually a coil of clay that I rolled out and then I stuck my cones in. And I teach you how to make them in my Making Cone Packs class. But you should use them, and you want to use the large. You want the large pyrometric cones. Don't use the small ones. They're no good. The pyro bars are only for kiln sitter kilns, so you don't want those either. You want large pyrometric cones. I know people use these small ones thinking they can save money. They don't give you accurate readings. They don't give you the results you need to get good firings. You need large cones. Let's see, pipe cleaners will work for cleaning out the holes in berry bowls and flower frogs too. Yes, they will.
Ooh, Karen uses an old clean mascara brush.
Ooh, an old clean mascara. There you go. Recycle your old mascara brushes. How many dips of cream am I doing? Rich, I did one dip, but my cream is very thick. Very thick. So if your cream is thin, do 2 dips. But first dip, go down maybe an inch. Second dip, half that amount. Don't go all the way down when you're dipping into the cream because it will eventually run on you. So you're 70 and 71. You and your sister are watching and you're learning. I love that. I love that you're here with us learning about pottery. So I'm trying to catch up with those comments because I want to keep up with everybody. So what size kiln is this? This is an E23T from L&L. It's a little over 7, or right about 7 cubic feet for this kiln here. I do have my 16 cubic foot gas kiln, but we're not going to talk about that right now. And then I did put away my smaller L&L because I'm getting another little L&L, a little baby kiln, a little test kiln, the doll test kiln, for doing tests in smaller pieces and such. So anyhow, learn about cones because you need to know. So we got a couple more things. Riley again glazed for some pieces I made using Amico Celadon's Ice Glacier Fog on the air fern holder. So these are like they hang on your wall. You can put little air ferns or air plants in them or votive candles. And here's one she did using the Poppy, Tangelo, and Marigold combo. So it works out great. I make the pottery, and when I'm glazing, she keeps me company by glazing some pieces for me. So there's these 2 cuties. And then I think we got, what do we got left? 2 more things. I'm saving the big one for last, y'all know. This, oh, hello. How about some more yumminess? How long do I wait between dips of cream? Perfect time to talk about it because this is a cream glazed piece. I will glaze, so let me just explain how I do it then. I pour the glaze on the inside, swirl it around, pour it out. Once that's dried enough for me to put my hand in it, I dip the entire thing into my bucket of glaze. And then after that has dried enough for me to touch it, so 2-3 minutes, sometimes 5 minutes, depending on the piece, I turn it over, and this one I dipped to about here with cream, right about there. And look how much it ran. Ooh, yum, yum. How yummy is that? This is the smoky purple with cream. So we have the fog, the shadow blue, and the smoky purple, all with cream, and the pitch black on the inside. Do I wax resist the fern holders? The very back. So if you see the back has no glaze at all, just like the bottom of this cup, I wax resist them before I apply glaze. Yeah. Even though it's a paint-on glaze, this one here was painted on, and you could just scrub it off if you wanted to. This was dipped, so I really wanted to make sure, let me turn that upside right. I really wanted to make sure that this one was waxed. All right, we have one more piece. Whew. One more. Can you believe it? We're almost done. You just ordered yourself, you just got yourself a kiln from Clayscapes. Oh, very exciting, Christine. You got the E23M. Ooh, so it's a little, is the M a little lower than the T? The T is tall because it's 3 rings. So it's a little bigger. So this is the last piece in the kiln. I don't know if we made this during ClayShareCon. Maybe, no, I threw this separately. This is going in my living room. I have to tell you, I love this. Celadon Bloom, 2 coats, inside and out, Mako Celadon Bloom, and then Mako Light Flux. Mako Light Flux on the rim. How's that? Does that look nice? What do y'all think? Did that come out okay? Should I check it?
You're going to have to get a beach house to wrap around.
I need a beach house. We talked about this last week with that, what was it, a mug or something? This mug. Oh wait, why did I glaze it? Because, you can blame it on this mug right here. This is the beach house mug. I did it with this mug, and so I had to make a bowl to match. Y'all hear my chickens? They're losing their minds out there. So, L&L just came out with a new medium-sized kiln, and that's what you got. Awesome. Very exciting. So I'm going to make the pottery for my beach house before I get the beach house. That's the plan. And when this house gets too full of pottery for the beach house, I got to buy that beach house. Anyhow, yeah, I love this. This is nice. Just 2 coats. So easy, gorgeous. Lots of fabulous pieces and lots of fun. Now remember, we're giving away those 4 6-packs of Clayscapes Glaze. And to enter, you just have to be signed up for our emails on Clayshare. So you go to clayshare.com, click on resources, and then you'll get emails. You'll see email, sign up for email. Just sign up, and there you go. And so here's 2 of Clayscapes Glazes, Shadow Blue with cream. This is Fog Gray with cream. There we have it. All right. More questions.
Number 1, from Charlie. Does the test kiln have to have special electric connections? So
the test kiln I'm getting will be a 240 volt. It will be like my big kiln, and it will be vented. They do make test kilns that you can plug into regular 120, and you don't necessarily have to vent them. But because it's going to be in my studio, and I might do tests kind of high, like up to cone 6 at least, I want to make sure that the kiln will do everything I need it to do. And I also want it vented because I'll be doing some lusters in there, and I always vent my kiln when I fire lusters. It just gives you better results. But there's lots of options out there for test kilns, and you should check out L&L. Talk to Drew too. So when you brush on a dipping glaze, do I do 1 coat? Yes, just 1. Unless your glaze is really thin, and then you need to do multiples. What's going on out there, Kevin?
I'm going to have a look.
Kevin's going to check.
So you have to keep talking.
I got to keep talking. He's checking on the chickies. I don't know what's going on. What got into those girls today? They're having a bit of noise. The glaze is on this bowl. It's Celadon Bloom from Mako. What you got? We got a problem.
You keep going.
We have something after our chickens right now, and I don't know what it is. I'm sorry, folks. I don't know if I can end the broadcast, but what's out there? All right. Everybody, I'm not sure how to end this. I need Kevin to end it. This is what happens when you own chickens. Predators come, predators get your chickens, and you have to go out and find out what's going on. I have no idea what's going on right now. I'm just going to stay and talk. Kevin's out there taking care of it, but it sounds like we have something out there after our chickens. It's very scary. We've had foxes, we've had hawks, we've had neighborhood cats, we've had neighborhood dogs, and we've only lost 2 chickens to foxes, 1 to a hawk. The cats and dogs we were able to shoo away and save them from. So can you shut this off, please?
Yeah.
All right, I will let y'all know later how it goes, but we need to shut down the broadcast. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. I'm gonna go check on my chickens. Bye, everyone.